Hi, darlings. I want to tell you about Shazam, the Media Center specials. Here are more books I want to talk to you about that are here in the Elementary Media Center. And these are for you, grades 3 through 5. So 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. So the first one we're going to talk about is called Just in Case, School, Drool, and Other Daily Disasters. I love the title of this book, and I love this picture right here because it really gives you a feel for what this book is about. It's written very similar to, excuse me, The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. But this young man, or Just in Case, is a very different character than Greg in The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. He's shy, he's very introverted, and he's observant. So he's going to share his feelings and his thoughts through his journals more than Jeff Kinney has that humorous touch with this. So if you want a Diary of a Wimpy Kid with maybe a little more serious tone or more reflective tone, this is the book for you. And this one definitely has humor in it as well, but it also has seriousness. Alright, so that's our first one. Our second one is Knights of Lunch Table. I'm a huge fan of graphic novels, and this is your graphic novel. Now, Knights of the Lunch Table is a series. This one, the Dodgeball Chronicles, obviously has dodgeball part of it. But it kind of is, well, not kind of, it is based on King Arthur legends, so Arthurian legends, and it's sprinkled throughout there. For example, his name is King Art, or is that right? Artie King. His name is Artie King, excuse me. And he comes to his first day of school at Camelot Middle School, and it's instantly being picked on by a bully, and he gets a pop quiz by his science teacher, Mr. Merlin, and he has to defeat this bully, and he's got to become the leader of the dodgeball. And if you'll notice his shirt right here, which I think this is great, you see a little crown on there, and he has a special locker, and he's the only one who could open up this special locker. So in order for him to defeat this bullies, he has to use some power from that locker. Very similar to King Arthur pulling out the sword from the stone. So I know that you'll enjoy this one. It's one of my favorites. Okay, next, what I want to talk to you about is Olivia Kidney Stops for No One. Now, Olivia Kidney is 12 years old, and she and her father moved to this brownstone, it's an apartment, in Manhattan. Now, Manhattan is downtown New York, okay? And it's very interesting, this apartment is, because there's a lagoon in the living room. And all these strange characters come in at night, and they entertain them. And on top of that, this apartment is supposed to be very close to the spiritual world. So if you prefer a little bit of a ghost story kind of edge to something that you read, Olivia Kidney Stops for No One is for you. So I can't wait to hear what you think about this book. Next one is What Planet Are You From? Clarice Bean. Now this is a picture book, but like I told you before, remember, picture books are not just for little kids, they're for everyone. And this one is a reading level that it's appropriate for 3rd through 5th grade. It's not appropriate for smaller grades. And also, the content in it is more for you all. Now, Clarice Bean thinks that gravity is absolutely a waste because she prefers to fly, and I bet some of you feel the same way. But she has to come up with a science project in her science class, and she decides through watching her brother become so upset about a tree being cut down that she, somehow her project evolves into her being this eco-warrior, and of course the news gets involved, etc. So it's a really funny book, but it's also serious look at how we can protect our environment around us. And I have a feeling some of you live in the same world that Clarice, or same planet that Clarice Brown lives in. Next, now I want to talk about some series book. These are books that there's more than one of them. Now, the Sisters Grimm, I have a feeling many of you have already read. I know that Miss Cole had them in her room. But these, we have them all now in the Media Center. We've ordered every one of them. And the first one is called The Fairy Tale Detectives. And we have some orphans. And their grandmother they thought was dead is not dead. And they are sent to go live with her. And that begins the journey. And every book is a new journey. I know that you will really love these books. In fact, I didn't even hear about them until last year, and they are addictive. So I can't wait to hear what your perspective is on this one. And that leads us to the next one, which is How to Train Your Dragon. And I know there's a movie that is very similar to this, But there is nothing like reading these novels. I think there's 10 of them in the whole series. And I just want to read this to you. Someone wrote a review about this book, and I think it's the best way to describe it. Gross is the word for this wildly enjoyable comic fantasy that takes the old heroic Norse battle myths and covers them in slime and snot. So boys, this is really a book that you can't help but like. You got battles, you got all this old Norse myths, which, tough guys, Viking kind of thing, and then you have snot and slime. You just can't go wrong with this. And our hero, bless his little heart, Hiccup Horrendous Haddock, our main character, he's just a classic nerd. And so you just have got to read this. In fact, he has these dragons fight each other, and he escapes one of them because one of them swallows him by coming out of his nose. Which, how disgusting is that? So please, read this one, and I want to hear what you have to say about it. The last one we're going to talk about is called The Lost Hero, which, of course, many of you know I love because it's by Rick Riordan, and it is a companion novel to the series, the Percy Jackson or the Lightning Thief series. We have new heroes that are introduced. Again, they're half god, half man from mythological gods from Greek mythology. We know that's not true, but according to Greek mythology. We also now have some mix of Roman mythology, kind of interestingly enough. So we have new heroes, and we have some return of some old heroes, and they have to go to work together to conquer a new quest. Many of my students have said that they like this better than Percy Jackson. So I want to hear what you think. My son thinks the same thing. So I can't wait to hear what you say. So in the meantime, my little darlings, come visit the Media Center and check me out. One of these out in here. So just pick any one of them. You can't go wrong with any of them. Can't wait to hear from you. All right, remember, reading makes you smart. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.